This one is mighty interesting. No, we're not going to gloss over Ezekiel chapter 4 from 12 to 15. We're not going to gloss it over because this is a classic example to show you that the Bible is indeed a contaminated book and you need to be very, very careful. Now, a lot of people out here is communicating with various entities, but it's not the Most High and it's not His angels. But some of you feel so blessed, so privileged, you feel so spiritual, you feel that you're something special, you're running about, speaking about visions and all of that. Had you spent time to know the angels and know the Most High, you will understand some simple, basic characteristics of angels and the Most High. Now, when it comes on to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 4 to 12, I'm absolutely disgusted, right? And if you do a quick Google search, it tells you that Ezekiel 4, chapter 4, 12 to 15 is a symbolic act of a prophecy where God commands the prophet Ezekiel to bake bread using human dung for the fuel to represent the defilement and desperation of Jerusalem's siege. When Ezekiel objects, God allows him to use cow dung instead, symbolizing the grim reality of famine and exiled life, but also showing God's mercy and flexibility in judgment. Okay. First thing first, the Most High is not going to use human excrement, right? Human dung and cow dung as any form of symbol. That's first thing. First thing first, the Most High will not do that. And if you know the Most High, if you have a personal relationship with Him, you will know He will not put that in prophecy and use that as some sort of symbolism. That is just pure nasty. That's nasty. Right? Now, on the other side, if you know the one they call Satan, Lucifer, Gadriel, the devil, whatever name the pervert goes by, if you know this pervert and been around him, you will understand why this chapter, this verse is contaminated. Right? First up, if you cannot see the enemy or speak to the enemy, you will smell him. And he smells like excrement mixed with dead flesh. That's what he smells like. He smells like excrement mixed with dead flesh. He smells like poo. That's how these fallen ones and these entities smell like. They smell like poo. Right? There's a good reason why they are so unclean, because they mix in with human dung. Now, you got to understand that this enemy, Lucifer, Satan, Gadriel, is associated with the anus. Yeah, he's associated with the anus. And the anus push forth dung or excrement. And that is what is associated with the back passage. And that is why they want you to put life into a dead place, if I'm making sense. So this chapter that the experts and the scholars would like to tell you, it's symbolic and it's just prophecy and it's just explaining away. The Most High would have never said that. Never. That is just nasty. That is out of character. That is not his style, and that is totally not him. Right? Could you believe? I just can't believe. I just could not believe when I saw it. And you cannot tell these water baptized, Holy Ghost filled, Jesus is mine. You cannot tell them nothing. And that is how you know people don't have a personal relationship with God. If you have a personal relationship with the Most High, then guess who's going to come along? The enemy. And when the enemy comes along, you will get to understand who he is, his personality, what he stands for, and also importantly, what he smells like. He smells purely like poo, right? So to see such a prophecy, such a comparison, is just unbelievable, right? And another thing as well, when it says cow dung, I remember I had this vision, and these two familiar spirit was taking me into a valley. I call it a valley of whispers because the leaves look like feather and the colors look so psychedelic. And they were taking me there to assault me. And when we look across, we saw the lion and a cow, and they were locked, like they were fighting, like they are pushing against each other. And the lion came to rescue me, but the cow was trying to block the lion so that these two familiar spirits could do what they wanted to do to me in the spiritual realm, because it happened in the spiritual realm first, and then it translate into real life. So they were trying to set me up for some sort of sexual assault in real life. And in that vision, the lion, the Judah king, was there to protect, right? So definitely the use of cow symbolizes Gadriel, Satan, Lucifer, the devil. There is so much that I can get into, and we're going to get into these angels, these Ezekiel angels with these four faces. Yeah, I'm coming to those because I've never seen anything so blatant. This lie is unbelievable right in front of your face. The Most High did not say this. The Most High will not give a symbolism mixed with dung, human excrement, and cow dung. That is not his style. That is the style of the enemy. That is how the enemy, that is his style. That is how he behaves. He moves and mingles with filth, right? The back passage is what the enemy dwells in, not the Most High. And we need to have a relationship and to be able to spot the lie when we see it, because it is written, if it was possible, even the elect would be deceived. And this one, Ezekiel chapter 4, right, from verses 12 to 15, that's a lie, straight out of the pits of hell. We need to pray and say, glory be to the Most High.